your 10-minute getaway to the best automotive news every week. I'm your host, Simon, and join me every Wednesday on Full Throttle for the newest automotive news. Hey everybody, today we got a lot of stuff to talk about, including stuff from Fiat Chrysler Association, Chevy, Ford, Lotus, and Aston Martin. And we're just going to start off with Fiat Chrysler, which just has to do with Dodge and Chrysler, but it's, the whole brand's idea, essentially. So basically, they're big, sedans and the Challenger. So the Dodge Charger, the Chrysler 300, and the Dodge Challenger, I just said that twice, and the Dodge Charger are going to get a refresh in 2018, but for one of those cars, it will be the last refresh they get, because they're all on the LX platform, which Fiat Chrysler says they don't want to have to deal with past 2020. So they basically have been rumored that the Charger or the 300 is going to be discontinued by 2020. And for all you Charger fans, don't fear, because rumors have it that it's going to be the 300 because its body style is 15 years old. 15. That's pretty old. And its sales are a lot less, but I'm assuming that's because it's a luxury car and only older people buy it. So, older people buy a car and keep it pretty much for the rest of their life, because they're not hip. They don't understand the urge to buy new cars every 4 years or every 2 years. So the plan is essentially they have a new platform that they're going to implement into all these three cars, which is called the Giorgio platform, and it'll hit two of the three cars by 2021, the 2021 model year. And it's rumored that it's going to be the Charger and the Challenger, just because their sales are so much better. The only thing that people are worried about is that the Charger will be going, but it's very unlikely, and that it'll delay the Challenger GT all-wheel drive, or the wide-body Hellcat-powered Challenger ADR. But we'll just have to wait and see. There's not a whole lot we know now, just because it's so early rumored. But yeah. We'll just move on to Ford. Ford has released their order forms for the 2017 Ford Raptor, which means if you've been waiting to buy one, you can now order it. As well as they have opened their online configurator, which is where you build and price it. So you can just make it exactly how you want it and drool over it, because you'll never have it, or you can make it exactly how you want it and then order it. And the truck will have 450 horsepower, which is all yours, at only $49,000, which is still fewer than $50,000, but with the configurator, it's going to be at least $52,000, because you're going to want these little bitty things all over the place. But if you get it completely, like the popular technology package, the spray and bed liner, all this stuff, you're going to get well over $70,000. So although this truck starts out at a great price, it can easily become the price of a luxury car, an extremely luxurious car. But the truck has a 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6 and special Fox suspension, which adds cost and complexity to it, which is why it's $49,000 to begin with. But yeah, I mean, 450 horsepower in a truck that can go like 100 miles per hour off-road, I'll take that any day for the price. Yeah. Other Ford news is the Mustang. The Mustang, people are saying it's going from its roots as a muscle car to it's elevating to a sports car, because in this new S550, I mean, it's not like the old car. It's got an independent rear suspension rather than a live axle, which is what it's had up until 2015. But people are saying that makes this car so much better, and it makes the V6 like not a V6. It makes it just as good because it can handle. And I mean, in sports cars, not all of them are V8s or V10s. They're V6s because a sports car is something that can handle well around corners and just be fun. And people are saying that the V6 is finally being considered as a real muscle car or a real Mustang because of this, not muscle car, it's a real sports car. Because of this independent rear suspension that they brought in. And they make it, obviously it's not going to be as fast, but it'll still handle just as well. And people are saying that excites them, and they're just looking forward to that every day. And yeah, people just grew up thinking that the Mustang V6 was just not real. It wasn't a real Mustang. So, hey, you learn, or things change every day, I should say. Not you learn something new, because that too, but yeah. So, moving on to Chevy, because, I mean, how could you not go from the Mustang to Chevy? Moving on to the Camaro, in fact. The 1LE first drive is considered, I mean, the person that drove it for Autoblog considers that one of the best cars that they've driven. And they claim that they haven't always been a fan of the Camaro. And they said it wasn't even planned to drive it. But here's just a comparison. Chevy provided a $72,000 BMW M4 to compare it to its $44,000 Camaro SS 1LE, and it stood up to the BMW. The Camaro could hold its ground. And this 1LE is available for the V6 and the S, so the RS and the SS. And it's a 3.6 liter V6 and a 6.2 liter V8. And the V6 has 335 horsepower, and the V8 has 455 horsepower. The V6 with 284 foot-pounds of torque, and the V8 with 455 foot-pounds of torque. Both come with a 6-speed manual or the equivalent automatic. They're both rear-wheel drive, and they weigh around 3,490 pounds to 3,747 pounds. And they both have seating for 4, obviously. And for the V6, you can get it all at $32,000, and for the V8, you can get it all this stuff at $44,000 for the base price. Everything the 1LE has to offer. But yeah, and it sticks to the pavement with a rating of 1.02 Gs, and for the SS, and the V6 at 0.97 for the V6. And moving on to Lotus, their new Lotus Evora it's got an increase of 10 horsepower in their 3.5 liter V6. So it's called the 2018 Lotus Evora Sport 410, and it's got 410 horsepower, which is where the name comes from, and 302 pound-feet of torque. It has a 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic. It does 0 to 60 in 3.9 to 4 seconds, rear-wheel drive, and it's mid-engined sports car. And the base price is $105,000. So yeah, and it can reach about 150 miles per hour at least. That's not even its top speed though. But they haven't made a sports car on a sport lap faster than their 2008 time until now. So it took them 10 years, but they did it. So be proud. And the last one is a Aston Martin V8 prototype that was spied going around the Nürburgring. It sounds just like a Mercedes AMG. What does that mean? Who knows? But it's not like an Aston Martin to do that, so it's just interesting to find out stuff like that. So, but if you like this video, please subscribe or like the video, and like the video, just to show your support, and I'll see you guys next week. And there's also a radio show coming out next Friday. Stay tuned for that.